How's it going, everybody? It's Al. Once again, it's Monday. We're going to look at a first look lineup for NBA tonight. We got an 8-game slate. We got a couple of things to talk about. It does look like there's going to be a ton of value on tonight's slate, so it could be a fun one. This is the way that I like to play. I love stars and scrubs on DraftKings. It's my favorite way to build a lineup. It allows you to get the studs that you want in your lineup. We've got a ton of players going to play accelerated minutes from what they normally play, and their prices have not come up to match based on the injuries. So you've got players that are priced as 15-minute-a-game players who are going to play 25 to 35 minutes tonight based on injury, based on a few players resting, based on a couple of players that are concussed. So we're going to get into that in just a minute. Thank you guys very much for the continued support on YouTube. Over 4,100 subscribers. We just started this channel about 2 months ago. So from 0 to 4,000 real quick. Thank you guys very much. All the applause to you. Thank you for helping me build this channel and the continued support. Let's see if we can get 300 likes on this video before lineups lock this evening for NBA. So please smash that like button before you leave, and if you haven't already, click subscribe. Getting into the video. The way that I like to do things is I want to take 3 values. I want to look at my 3 top values that I want for the day, and then I want to plug in 2 stud players that I can find. Value players being defined as 5K or below, stud players being about, well, you know, 7,500, 8K or above, all the way up to the ceiling of 12K, 12.5, depending on who they are. Today, the highest priced player is LeBron James at 11.5K. As I mentioned, we have a bunch of value. We have some pending value. NBA is very much about if-then statements. If you do not know what you're going to do if and when something happens, then you're just not going to be a successful NBA player. So the first if-then statement that we have to talk about is Andre Drummond, who has missed 2 of the last 3 games. He's got some sore ribs. The game that he played, he was somewhat ineffective, right? Not his usual self. And when he rested, we saw that there were a couple of players that filled in for him. The first one, BOBAN MARJANOVIC, a couple of games ago, played 22 minutes, but he's very matchup dependent. Against Miami, against Whiteside, there were situations where he could play. He wasn't going to get stretched out on the floor. Joel Embiid would have moved him out there. He only played 7 minutes. Houston, he can't keep up with the pace that the Rockets play, so he wasn't going to play a ton of minutes. Tonight, they face a very big team in New Orleans, so he could get back to around, 18 to 20 minutes in the case that Drummond sits, but he's priced up at 4,500, needs about 26 points to reach value. I think that's about what he could get with a ceiling of maybe 32 points, but not as much value as somebody like Eric Moreland, who we saw last game play 36 minutes in the absence of Drummond, posting 36 minutes, 29 fantasy points. Not as good a point per minute performer as Boban is, but doesn't really need to be, considering that for him to play, if he plays 25 minutes in this game, if he doesn't play the 36, right? If he plays 25 at 3K, we need 18 fantasy points from him to somewhat be happy. If he plays 25 minutes, should end up with 22 fantasy points. I think that that's a fair minutes allocation to expect from him in the case that Drummond is out. I think it's a fair points per minute projection for him as well. Your only fear is that you have 2 guys across from him like Anthony Davis and DeMarcus Cousins that could get him in foul trouble, moving those minutes down, which is why I'm not projecting him any higher than 22 to 25 minutes. But even if they get that amount of court time, he is going to pay off. Now, if he gets 12 minutes like he did against Philly, probably not going to. So obviously there's some risk, but at 3K, not as much as Boban at 4,500. So we can plug him in because I'm kind of expecting him not to play. I'm expecting Drummond to sit out again this evening. So we can plug him in and move on from there. The next spot where there's a ton of value tonight, right here with the Clippers. Looking at the Clippers, Blake Griffin was back. He's concussed. He's not playing. That opens up 48 front court minutes, right? So we have 48 minutes at power forward on the season, averaging 34. So that's 34 minutes that have to be filled by somebody. You know that DeAndre Jordan is going to play a bunch, right? And he's going to see increased usage. Like DeAndre Jordan, if you're playing up for somebody, I like Lou Williams because with the guards that are out, Austin Rivers out, Gallinari out, Teodosic also questionable for this evening, may sit as well. He's a player that will soak up some minutes, as we see here, 34, 28, 33. Didn't play against the Warriors. Questionable for now. If he's out, that opens up a lot of minutes that need to be soaked up and a lot of usage. So Lou Williams becomes a really good studdish play at 7,900. Expect high ownership on him. Expect high ownership on DeAndre Jordan at 7,800. But here's where the value comes in. Montrezl Harrell 31 minutes last game, 32 minutes last game. At 4.3K, we need about 24 points from him. Should approach or exceed value if he gets 30-plus minutes again tonight. Juwan Evans, if Teodosic is out, if Milos is out again tonight, going to see a ton of minutes, 23, 28 minutes. Should approach or exceed value at 4,100 tonight. Wes Johnson, not really concerned with him reaching value. Even if he plays a bunch of minutes, he's just kind of a guy that runs around the floor. I'm a Syracuse alum. He's a Syracuse guy. I would love to believe that he's the guy, but I'm not sure that he is. The player that we saw take a big leap, Ty Wallace, you better call him. His first game called up from the G League, 31 minutes played, 13 points, filled the stat sheet, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 steals, did a bunch of different things. If this kid plays 25-plus minutes at 3.6K with the absence of Blake Griffin, with the absence of all the other guys on the floor, showing that he can actually fill it up a little bit, taking 12 shots in his first game, only making 33% of them, Ty Wallace looks like another great play here for value this evening. Sam Decker, another guy that could play 30-ish minutes tonight. Not as good a value as the other ones, in my opinion, but still somebody that we have to pay attention to. So if I'm going to pick 2, I want... Okay, why did he go to the flex? I don't want him in the flex. I want Juwan Evans at point guard. We could go with HARRELL for safety reasons. I'm going to go with the extreme value because why not? Where'd he go? Where'd my guy go? Shooting guard, Wallace. So you got Clippers value. You could go with 3 Clippers value players. It might be very popular. We also have San Antonio. Going to be playing without some players tonight. We have 4 players questionable on San Antonio with Kawhi Leonard getting hurt again. Aldridge should play. Gasol is questionable. Slow-mo, Kyle Anderson could play 30 minutes again. We've seen him do well in that situation. Danny Green, not going to play, or he's questionable for this evening. Tony Parker upgraded to probable for this evening, even though the Q is on there. Rudy Gay out. Ton of minutes to go around. GINOBILI with a massive game the other night, 42 fantasy points. He is also questionable, might sit for rest. So the Spurs could provide value as well tonight. And it's right here. It's Davis Bertans that I'd be looking to play extra minutes. And if he plays those extra minutes, should be able to, again, meet or exceed value. 3,900. We need 22 to 25 fantasy points. He's been right in that range for the past 3 games, given that he's played a ton of minutes in those games. Not a thrilling player. Not looking for 40 fantasy points. I don't think that he's going to be somebody that's just going to come out and smash. But if you need value, he's there. So a ton of value on the slate tonight and at a bunch of different positions. So you can fill in your lineups pretty much any way that you want. And the first way that I want to fill in my lineup, right here. You saw his picture. He's the cover boy for today's episode. DeMarcus Cousins, 10.7K, just a beast. He's such a bully. And playing a ton of minutes, 39, 40, 44, 83-point upside out of DeMarcus Cousins, 55 fantasy points on the season, almost 5xing his salary at this price point on average. So you definitely have upside here. The downside against Utah, he had 40 points in that game. Detroit without Drummond. Detroit with Drummond, not all that great. Detroit without Drummond, bigger problems there. I would not mind even pairing it with Anthony Davis. If you want to go with both bigs here and just capture all the rebounds, the blocks, all the upside, all the points on New Orleans, I'm okay with that. The other route that I do want to go or talk about at least is Chris Paul. Again, without Harden, you know that he's going to play a ton of minutes. You know that he's the point guard in the D'Antoni system, and we know what happens when that happens. The first time that we played him in that situation was here. He kind of flopped with 39 points, but if this is the floor that we're working with, is about 40 points with an upside of 50 to 60, I'm in. Andrew Lincoln, thank you with the tier 1 sub, 5 months in a row. Appreciate you. Bets Poker with another 10 bits, constantly filling the cup. Appreciate you as well. I'm going to plug in Chris Paul, and then we still have 6,200. You have 18K in salary remaining for 3 players. If you were to plug in one value play with this lineup at small forward, or utility, you plug in one $3,600 player, you still can fit to 7 to 8K players with this lineup. It's a stars and scrubs night, at least where I sit right about now. And once it starts looking that way, that is, for me, the best way to attack daily fantasy NBA. That's the route that I'm probably going to be going with my lineups this evening. Best of luck to you guys. Thank you very much. And hey, let me know what you think about this video. Leave me a note in the comments section right down below. Please click the like button and the subscribe button before you get on out of here. Thank you guys for being here, and we'll catch up to you next time. Bye.